first time ever, 3 Black women from Toronto have been named to Forbes 30 Under 30 in the same year. And our next guest is one of them.
She's behind some of the most impactful Black business initiatives in Canada and has helped distribute millions in funding in support of Black entrepreneurs. Here to tell us more about her journey to the top is the founder and CEO of Some Creative Agency, Danielle Spencer.
Thank you.
First of all, big congratulations making the Forbes 30 Under 30 list. What was that like when you got that you found out that you made the list?
Oh my, I screamed immediately. But I mean, it's just something that's super exciting. It was something that was, relatively in the works for a while in terms of just my intention, even wanting to be on the list. And when I had nominated myself, which is something that I'm realizing it seems to be kind of foreign in terms of like submitting yourself for those kinds of opportunities. But yeah, no, it's been very exciting. And yeah.
So we got to ask, we said that off the top, these statistics are staggering. Black women make up less than 3% of Forbes 30 Under 30 honorees. What are your thoughts on that stat?
Well, I mean, we can get into like the system itself and why that's even a thing. But for me personally, what I notice is that while the system overlooks Black women often overlook Black women. And like I said, I nominated myself, and I work with a number of clients, and I have friends who, should be up for these opportunities. They're incredible at what it is that they do, and I'll ask them, like, did you submit yourself? Did you nominate yourself? And they're like, no. And I think that there's just, kind of a societal pressure and sometimes an inner pressure of that, women in general should just be great at what they do, and that's enough. And I think that especially with Black women, there's like, that whole like strong Black woman, you just do good, and that's enough. But you should be acknowledged for the work it is that you do. And if someone else isn't gonna nominate you, like nominate yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that you did that.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important for people to hear, because I think a lot of people have been trained to wait. And I think that you went out and did it yourself is just amazing.
Not people, women.
Women, exactly.
The men would have no problem with this.
Let's talk about your career pivot, because you've built a multi-million-dollar brand twice. What happened in the first case that you had to sort of abandon, and how were you able to do it a second time?
Yeah, well, I mean, kind of the way that anybody goes through life and has a really pivotal launch, a messy breakup will do that for you. Yeah. So I had started a baby brand back in the pandemic, and at around 2022, that was kind of what I was going through in life, and we got to a fork in the road where somebody got to take the business and somebody got to leave.
This was your partner, your partner. Okay,
Yes, with my partner at the time. And it just wasn't fitting with the type of parent I wanted to be. It was a thing that I had just outgrown in my life. Mm-hmm. And so I left and took a number of steps that have led me to now sit here with you lovely ladies. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so it was a pivot in my life that forced me to really come to terms with, like, who am I? What do I want from life? And I really wanted to help people with a lot of the struggle points that I had in starting a business and running that business, and still be able to show up as the mom that I wanted to be. Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that you're doing it and also a mom, we have to applaud that. It's a big deal. It's a lot of work. People might be watching and look at you and go, oh, that's easy, but the statistics are staggering. Listen to this, guys. 90% of startups fail. 22 fail due to a lack of marketing strategy, and only 18% of first-time founders succeed. So what are people getting wrong when they start out?
I think the number one thing that I typically see is that you don't know what you don't know. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't know things that they really need to. Mm-hmm. Kind of why I even started getting into this type of work was I was working at a marketing agency, and I had one of my clients was a nonprofit that works with a number of entrepreneurs, and they were just missing basic level things, like just having their business registered so that they could qualify for a grant. They didn't have headshots, so they were missing out on speaking opportunities. And I started my business, and it scaled to doing 7 figures, which is very exciting. But there's a lot of like little pieces that kind of had to go into even getting there. And so that's where Some Creative Agency came to be. It was, just really helping people get to just the basics. Mm-hmm. And then we can worry about the 7 figures. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
So you say that building $1 million brand is simple, but it's not easy. Okay, simple but not easy. What does that mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, when the holidays just passed, and we all ate way too many, cakes and cookies, and I'm sure we have some idea of how we want to, get ready for summer. And, we'll say, okay, I'm going to have a workout routine. I'm going to eat only protein, cut the sugar, and then I'll be, fitting into the size that I want to be in. That sounds simple. But by the time you have to actually execute, that's kind of hard. And so I think it's the same thing in business. There's a number of different steps it is that you need to take in order to be successful in terms of connecting with your audience, creating community. And for me, it's strategic empathy is just such a big part of being able to build a brand and connect with people. But when I tell people you need strategic empathy, they're like, what does that even mean? How do I even execute that? And I'm like, if you can nail that down, oh my gosh, business is easy because it's really just about connecting with people. But that sounds simple. So that sounds so simple. But as soon as you have to actually execute, it's a little harder than that. So I do say it is simple. It doesn't need to be as big of a barrier and an obstacle. But I think that anybody can do it. It's just a matter of how you go about it, which can be hard, but simple.
We saw a picture of your two little ones.
Yeah.
So what do you hope that parents watching you, and maybe specifically moms, but parents take from your story?
Oh, they're so perfect. And when I look at them, I'm just we're a team. We're a unit as three. And so if there's something that I hope parents can take away from this, it's just to be a little bit selfish and to know that that's not a bad thing. So for me, when I look at us and I see our unit and I see our team, I'm I make decisions based off of the betterment of the team. How is this going to affect the team? How does this advance the team? And sometimes that is a selfish decision. When mom has, a weekend away, it's yes, I miss them, and yes, I'd love to see them, and they want to see me. But how can I make myself better and happier to approach my role as a parent even better? What am I doing that prioritizes them in this unit? And essentially just think of all of us in moving forward in that.
Danielle, thank you so much for sharing your story. Huge inspiration.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.